Another major tournament final for England and another defeat. Where did it all go wrong? And is this it for Gareth Southgate? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be finishing our coverage of Euro 2024, and unfortunately we're going to be finishing it on a downer as consecutive European Championship finals end in defeat for England as we lost 2-1 last night to Spain following a 86th minute winner for the Spanish, despite England getting mighty close to an equaliser late on with a header that was cleared off the line. It is once again heartbreak for England, and once again we fall at the final hurdle. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't feel as down about this as I did Euro 2020. I feel like with Euro 2020, we very much had that final in our hands. We took the lead, we took it to penalties, we could have won it. It was a flip of a coin, essentially, when you get to a shootout like that. So that one took a lot more time to get over. I don't quite feel as down about this because at the end of the day, we were beaten by the best team in the tournament. They'd beaten every single team they'd faced throughout the group stages, all the way through the knockouts. They'd beaten France, they'd beaten Germany, they'd beaten England. They were on the toughest side of the draw. It's one of the most impressive European Championship wins, you could say, from the Spanish. And not just in the tournament as a whole, but on the night, they were the better team completely. England never quite laid a glove on Spain. And it was typical England. You know, it was typical of England and how we set up. Especially in big games like this, we were once again really conservative, defensive, trying to stay in the game for as long as possible and hope we maybe nicked it via a moment or took it to extra time and penalties. It never once felt like we were the side taking the initiative, the side taking the game to Spain, even though I felt like we had just as if not better players than Spain. But that's the story of England, and that's, I guess, the story of when we come up against these bigger nations. They back themselves in these big moments to go for it, take the game by the scruff of the neck and win it, and we just never did. You know, we had one brief flurry after we equalised where I felt like momentum could have swung, and again we equalised via one of them really special individual moments of quality, which was the only way I could ever see us scoring last night, in fairness. And you think with 50 minutes to go it's perfect because, you know, you can maybe, you know, take advantage of Spain while they're rattled, get another goal, and then suddenly you're in the final 10 minutes and then you hang on for dear life. But again, in typical England and maybe typical Gareth Southgate fashion, we levelled the game, had a chance to really take advantage of Spain while they were, I wouldn't say on the ropes, but were a little bit shook up, and we handed the initiative straight back to them. We instantly, as we do, it's our mentality. I feel like it's in our bones, it's in our DNA as an England team to just go, right, we're back in it, let's defend what we've got now. And again, we sat back, we gave Spain possession, we allowed them to take control of the game once more, and essentially we just were waiting for them to take the lead again. It was typical, really, and I can't pretend that we deserved to win this final, and I can't pretend that we deserved to win the tournament. You know, we've capitalised on individual moments multiple times to get us out of trouble, and although it's led to some unbelievable highs and some unbelievable moments that we'll never ever forget, like the bicycle kick and Watkins' goal in the penalty shootouts, it would have, don't get me wrong, been an outstanding way to win the tournament, but you can't quite say we've deserved it. You know, we've not really put in a good performance from start to finish, other than maybe Netherlands. But there's a couple of stats that I found really quite eye-opening, and one is that England have only been ahead in this tournament for 16 minutes in normal time, which is quite crazy. And that just shows, you know, we've never taken the game to the opposition. We've never dictated. We've never put an opposition aside. We've always waited until we've gone behind because we've not been playing well enough, and it's only been then that we've kicked our asses into gear and decided to get on with it when we've gone behind. So that in itself is quite a telling stat in the fact that we're a moments team, and it's took us to go behind multiple times, and you just can't keep getting away with playing like that, I'm afraid. And this England team, really, with the technically gifted players we have, should be taking the game to the opposition. We should be trying to put a few past them, put them aside. We should be dominating possession. We should be on the front foot. And we're just not. Whether it's Southgate, whether it is just within us as a team, we just can never beat the best teams on the biggest stages, regardless of the squad that we have. Another stat I saw was that we've actually created less XG throughout the whole tournament than Croatia, and they only got through to the group stages and were knocked out, which again is telling. But, we've got to be honest. We've got to be completely honest. Spain were the better team, and for much of the first half, I think we defended well without really laying much of a glove on Spain. We had to defend really well and make some good last-ditch tackles at times. I was relatively happy at half-time, I'll be honest. I felt like we've weathered somewhat of a storm. I didn't think Spain were all that great, and we'd nullified their threats really well, and I thought, if we can just step it up a gear in the second half, take the game, into the final 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and then turn it up, flip the switch, make a few subs, we might be playing a tactical blinder here, but to then concede the opening goal within 2 minutes is just typical. We come out of that second half and we were so far off it. Williams' goal was really, really bad defensively from us, and I'm going to be brutally honest, up until Palmer's goal, I didn't see us scoring from anywhere. A bit like the rest of the games, I didn't ever see where we were going to score a goal from and where the moment was going to come, but credit to Southgate, one of his substitutes come on and again made an impact, and you think that's going to be the moment where it sparks us into life, and that was for me the moment where we'd sort of put a kink in Spain's armour, and that was the chance for us to take advantage, win the game, and we didn't. We handed it straight back to Spain, and another thing that you've got to point out is if it wasn't for Jordan Pickford and some outstanding saves he made, the game would have been done well before Palmer equalised. Spain missed some glorious opportunities. Dani Olmo had a great chance that he sort of scuffed wide, which he should have got on target and probably scored. Pickford made one very good save from Lamine Yamal, another one that was sort of straight at him, which Yamal should have done better at, but Spain should have had the game won. They should have been done and dusted by 70 minutes, and the fact that we got a goal back makes you wonder, is it just meant to be ours? But we sat off, and we shouldn't have ever sat off at that point. We're in a European final. You level with 50 minutes to go. Just go for it. What is the worst that can happen? I'd rather us go for it and get caught on the counter than just sit back like we did and allow Spain to come back onto us. So, yeah, I've got no complaints. I was gutted, naturally, but you do have to just tip your hat to Spain and say they were the best team. And, what would it have took for England to beat them? We would have had to have been a lot better and a lot more front foot than we were to really get past this Spanish side. And you also have to question, has the time passed now? I think for Gareth Southgate, I feel like he is at a natural end now. I really do. I feel like it was all culminating to this, and unfortunately we've fallen short once again. And this isn't me calling for Southgate out or anything like that. I'm incredibly grateful for what he's done for England. I mean, he's a Borough legend, so I'll always love Southgate, and he lifted our only major cup. But I feel like what he's done off the pitch is probably more impressive than what he's done on it, in terms of he has brought an England team together when, especially in the noughties, it was very much a team that was divided with tribalistic groups from, club to club, with a team that wasn't very cohesive at all, trying to sandwich players into a system that would never work. He has gave us reason to believe again in this England team and off the pitch. I think the culture around England has changed massively, and you can't deny his record. The number of finals he's got us to, the number of knockout games he's won. He will go down undoubtedly as one of the greatest England managers ever, and I wanted us to win last night for him more than anyone. There's a quote from my favourite movie of all time, The Dark Knight, which is, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And for me, I think this is the perfect time for Southgate to step aside. He's took a lot of stick this tournament. He's had stuff thrown at him. He's been booed. I mean, he does really well to remain as level-headed as he does, because I think the way he is treated by some England fans is wrong, very wrong. And they don't quite know how good we've got it, because we could change managers and never make another final for another 20 years. And then we'll be looking back on Southgate like we maybe did Bobby Robson, and maybe we did other managers past. And they look better than they do. They look better in hindsight than they did in real time. That's normally the way, isn't it? You don't realise what you had until it's gone. But I do feel like it's a natural end for Gareth, and he should step aside now. And he should leave with his head held high. I think what he's done off the pitch is great, but we certainly need, I think, someone to now come in, use what he's put together as a springboard and a platform, and now transform England on the pitch, because we've got the players there who can play front foot football. They're so technically gifted. I feel like if this England team was to play on the front foot, we would win something. We've got the squad to do it. So Southgate, I think, has done all he can. He's took us as far as he can. Handed over to a manager now who can take that culture on board and transform us on the pitch. And as much as people might knock him now, I think in a couple of years' time, Southgate will be revered as one of our best managers, and I think fans will grow to be grateful for what he's done in time. As for a few of the players, I mean, there was a few that really disappointed this tournament, and I don't want to say let the country down, because it's sort of harsh to say that, but they just were so far off it. Harry Kane, I thought, had a really disappointing final. I don't quite know what we do with Harry Kane, to be honest with you. He's an unbelievable finisher, and he still does it at club level, so maybe it's a system thing, but for England, he just looked incredibly ineffective. He has done all tournament. He looks so far off it. He doesn't look fit. He looks like he's carrying an injury. And essentially, when we're out of possession, we're playing with 10 men, essentially, with Harry Kane up front. And at least when Watkins come on, he ran in behind and he dragged Spanish defenders back 10 yards and posed a different sort of threat. But there's a few others, Bellingham, I think, you take out the moments of brilliance. He's had a poor tournament, really. Foden as well. Bright moments, unlucky not to score in the semis, but has come out of this tournament without a goal contribution to his name when Palmer has come on off the bench and done more. I think Saka's been a star for the tournament. I think him, Gehi and Mainu have certainly been standout performers. Rice has been a bit hit and miss, had good moments, also had a few iffy moments. And I don't think you can have too many complaints about the defence. I will say Luke Shaw did exceptionally well last night to come in, start his first game since February and deal with Lamine Yamal as well as he did. And I think John Stones and Gehi have done really well, especially Gehi throughout the tournament. And Walker, okay, I would say. Pickford, as I say, kept us in the game for most of the second half. Deserves immense credit for that. But yeah, too many big players, especially up front, just not doing enough. So yeah, I don't know what else to say really. It's devastating, but England just, again, get to the final, run into the best team, and we don't deliver on the biggest stage, and it makes you worry with this mentality, this conservative, defensive, pessimistic mentality we seem to have. Will we ever win anything? Because at this rate, we'd have to stumble over the line in a final. We'd have to probably drag ourselves to a penalty shootout and win it. I just can't see us taking the game to a team in a final and winning comfortably, or doing what Spain have done, dominate for the most part and get the job done in 90 minutes. I just feel like I don't know if it's the pressure, the weight of the shirt, or just the way we play football. I don't know what it is, but, Spain have gone through a pretty poor time of it. They've come back to win a trophy. You look at Italy now, they've come off the back of winning a trophy, and yet our wait goes on. 58 years uncounting, and one of the highest weights for a trophy of any nation, and to be fair, any big nation, any nation that is capable of winning a trophy, we have gone the longest, and you just wonder when the wait will end. I'm starting to think maybe Borough are more likely to win our next major trophy than what England are, but it is what it is. I'm glad the Euros is over now. It's not been that much of an enjoyable tournament, other than moments. It's been quite a struggle watching England, and I am kind of relieved it's over with now, and I'm going to be turning my focus here on the channel to my club, the Borough, and the Championship, with lots of content to come. But if you've enjoyed me covering the Euros, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I've enjoyed covering England. It's been different, and it's a shame, of course, it's finished in the manner that it did. But the best team won, the best team in the tournament won, the best team in the final won, and England, as usual, just come out on the wrong side of these fine margins and come out on the wrong side with agony and heartbreak. England and heartbreak, they just go hand in hand, don't they? But like this video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, let me know your thoughts, and whether you think Southgate should carry on, do you think he should have one more crack at the 2026 World Cup, or is it time he hands over? I think he will, to be honest with you. I think he will move on. And comment below your thoughts on England and the tournament, and if you're excited for the content I've got coming, subscribe and hit the bell too so you never miss out. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait another 2 years until football finally comes home. See you guys next time.